Morning.
How was your weekend?
It was good. How about yours?
Busy.
Let's see. Reviewing 1 and 3 are new because we've got to have those for what's coming up soon, okay? All right, so what's the square root of 25? 5. All right, do you remember how to do the letters? How do you take the square root of a to the 4th? Divide it by 2. Very good. What's half of 4? 2. So a squared. The only problem is you can't divide 5 by 2 without it being a decimal, right? So you have to break it up. What's the biggest even number under 5? 4. So b to the 4. And then one more, right? Because remember, you can't change the meaning. You've still got to have 5 of them. 4 and 1 does still give you 5, okay? So now this one can come out to the front as how much? Take half of it. B squared. There you go. And then the regular b just stays inside. Are y'all okay? Does this bring back some memories from Algebra 1? Okay.
Can we skip the whole step of the...
That's fine. That's fine. I just did the step because some people probably don't remember that. All right, what about number 2? Number 2 is the factoring stuff. You ready? I kept this one on here because this is the one that we were all having issues with, okay? So that's why I'm going to keep this type on here. So factors of 3 and factors of 5. Y'all okay? All right. So now we can do 2 sets of parentheses. All right, my first should be easy. First has got to give me 3p squared. Which ones give me 3p squared? 1 and 3. Or 3 and 1. It doesn't matter the order. Are y'all okay? All right, then my outer. All right, 1 times something. What am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to negative 2p. So would I do 1 times 5 or 1 times 1? 1 times 5, okay. What is 1p times 5? 5p, right? So then inside is 3 times something. What was that other number with 5? 1. What's 3 times 1? 3p. There you go. How will 5p and 3p give me negative 2p? Negative 5 plus 3. Very good. All right, so how did I get the 5p? Because that's where my negative needs to go. Which one? How did I get the 5? 3 and the 5. There you go. All right, how did I get the 3p? Because that's where my positive needs to go. I did 1 times 3, so it'd be positive. And then check your last. What's 1 times negative 5? Negative 5. There you go. Are y'all okay? All right. All right, number 3. We got a review for the stuff coming up. All right, everything is squared, right? So 4 squared is how much? 16. All right, do you remember the rule? This is 1 base of a, correct? So if you have 1 base of a, what do I do to the 4 and the 2? You multiply them. It'd be 8. Bless you. Remember the rule? Give me some numbers. Give me 2 numbers. 12 and 6. Okay. You see how I have 2 bases of a there? That's when you add the 12 and 6. I only have 1 base of a here, okay? All right, how many bases of b do I have? 1. So I multiply. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. But I'm not finished. What is not proper? What is not right? What can I not have? The negative exponent, right? Okay, so to make anything a fraction, I put it over what? 1. And the only thing that needs to be fixed is this piece right here. So the opposite of being on the numerator is going to the denominator, correct? That's the only thing that goes. The 16 stays, the a to the 8 stays, but now the b to the 10 goes to the bottom, and when you do the opposite, he gets the opposite sign. So that's positive 10. Well, we're going to do it for a couple of days and a couple of weeks. Don't worry, okay? Why are we reviewing this? Because the next unit is when we're going to use this stuff again, okay? So we review it in bell ringer before we get there. Are y'all okay? Okay, you okay?
Yeah. Is that 16/8.
Yes, 16/8 to the 8th. I kind of read it a little sloppy, didn't I? All right, let's look at number 4. I had to write in your question for you. I'm sorry about that, guys. So it says, which angle is not congruent to the others? I see 2 sets of congruent angles. I see 2 sets of vertical angles. Which 2 sets are vertical angles? 3 and 1. These are vertical, right? So I'm not going to pick 1 or 3. And what other one? 4 and 5. Those are vertical. If they're vertical, that means they're congruent. So I'm not going to pick 5 or 4. The only one left is 2. For my 10th graders, you're going to see that in the spring, okay? You'll see that in the spring. What about number 5 for your 11th graders and for 10th graders? This is the exact same picture from Friday, but it's a different question, okay? Which of the following vertical lines? Guys, what is a vertical line? Is that x equals a number or is that y equals a number? That's x, right? X is a vertical line. So I'm only concerned with my x's. Let me get a highlighter real quick. So what are my x values for this top line? 3 and how much? 9? So what's in the middle? What cuts 3 and 9 in half? Because it says which one cuts it in equal parts, right? What is it? 6? Okay. So let's see. We're going to go right here. And we're going to say x equals 6. But the thing is, x equals 6 cuts the top in half, right? But it doesn't cut the bottom in half. Because now I have 2 and 12 as my x values. Why am I concerned with my x values? Because x equals a number is vertical, right? What cuts 2 and 12 in half? If you need to, write it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, let's see. 12, 2. I think 7 is correct. Yep, 7 is correct. So, let's see. X equals 7 cuts the bottom one in half. So what would cut the whole picture in half? What's between 6 and 7? 6.5. There you go. Well, which one cuts it in half? Which one cuts it in equal parts? Y'all okay? Anybody lost? All right, let's look at your calendar real quick. You ready? All right, just to make sure we're all good. Let's see. So we're done with this week. This week is gone. Friday, we're going to go over that stuff because the sub did not leave the key. I left a very detailed key for y'all. So if you got stuck somewhere that you can kind of see where you went wrong, and she did not leave that for you. So we are going to do today's lesson, which is quadratic equations, which should be pretty fast, right? Y'all remember that from 9th and 10th grade? Okay. And I put 2 days on here so that we could kind of review, because when is your quiz? Wednesday. And then Thursday is supposed to be your bell ringer test, okay? I'm not going to see y'all Thursday. So, I'm going to see everybody else, but I won't see y'all. So here's the deal. You can either come 0 period and take it Thursday. You can come Wednesday during 0 period. You can come during elective period. You can take it Monday during 0 period if you want to, because Friday we're out of school, okay? If you can come during lunch. So don't freak out if you don't take yours on Thursday, okay? That's not a big deal. Are y'all okay? Anybody lost? If you got some extra time in class, maybe before your quiz or after your quiz, you can take it then. If you take your quiz pretty quick, then you can just take your bell ringer test right after that. Are y'all okay? All right, so here we go. Let us grab our notes, which I believe is page 22, 20, what is it? 23. 23. All right. So we're going to do this real quick like, and then we're going to go over any questions from Friday, okay? Now, Friday stuff is not a grade, guys, but here's the deal. If you don't know how to do Friday stuff, you can't do the stuff on Wednesday, which is your quiz. You remember the formula for quadratic formula? Perfect.
I read it.
I know. That's why I highlighted it at the same time. All right, you ready? Now, unlike complete the square, quadratic formula has to be, it's just like everything else. It has to be equal to what? 0. So I got to move this 16 over, okay? Alright, so let's see, I'm going to do it right here so I have enough room. X squared plus 6x minus 16 equals 0. Now, if you've got your calculators, I'm going to show you a shortcut, okay? So go ahead and get those ready and handy. You don't need a graphing calculator, you just need a regular calculator, okay? Preferably not a phone, because it doesn't work the same way. Alright, so I need 3 letters. I need my A, I need my B, and I need my C. And we take the signs with it. So the A is the first number. What's the first number right here? 1. So A is 1. B is your second number, including your sign. So what is B? Positive or negative 6? Positive. There you go. All right. C is your constant, or your last number. What's your constant?
Negative 16.
Negative 16. Very good. Are y'all okay? All right. So now let's just plug it in. X equals negative B becomes negative 6. Plus and minus, square root, make that square root pretty long, okay? Ready? Okay, so B squared. So if you can do it, guys, save yourself a step. B squared is 6 squared. What is 6 squared? 36. Let's go ahead and do that, okay? Algebra 1, we wrote that step out, but you know what 6 squared is now. All right, then minus 4 is in the formula. Times A is times 1, times C is times negative 16. And all of that, the whole thing, guys, not just the square root, the whole thing is over 2 times A. So over 2 times 1. All right, you got your calculators ready? Ready, Freddy? Okay, here we go. Let's type all of that in our calculator. 36 minus 4, parentheses 1, parentheses negative 16, and hit enter. What do you get? 100. Now here's the deal. You don't want to use the square root button first, because what happens if this is not a perfect square? Okay, you'll get a decimal. So don't put the square root in there first. Alright, so here we go. We've got x equals negative 6 plus and minus the square root of 100 over 2. Are y'all okay? What's the square root of 100?
10.
Technically, it's not 10. What is it?
Plus or minus.
But I already had the plus and minus written in, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I'm just saying that because if you don't remember that, for complete the square. So this is really negative 6 plus and minus 10 over 2.
Can you go ahead and divide by 2?
We can, but since we don't have anything else to do, we can go ahead and say negative 6 plus 10 is how much?
4.
And 4 divided by 2 is? 2. And then we can say negative 6 subtract 10
Negative 16.
divided by 2 is?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. What did we just find, ladies and gentlemen?
Intercepts?
X-intercepts. Oh my goodness. So if I were to go to y equals and plug it in, yes, you need to do that. X squared plus 6x, just watch then if you don't have a graph calculator, minus 16, and hit graph. And where should it hit the x-axis at?
2 and negative 8.
Oh my goodness, there's negative 8 and there's 2. Are y'all okay? Just another way to do the same thing we were already doing, okay? Alright, let's go to number 2. Number 2, what's wrong with it? Not equal to 0. So see, we're going to have x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Get it kind of good? Can we do it kind of fast? And then y'all can do it on your own? Okay, here we go. So what's my A, my B, and my C?
1, negative 6, 9.
Very good. Alright, now here you go. You got to be careful on this one. You ready? If I take negative B, it's going to be negative of a negative 6, which makes it positive. So all that does is change the sign, okay? So whatever your B is, just change your sign. Alright, plus and minus, the square root. What's negative 6 squared? 36 minus 4 times A times C. So 4 times 1 times 9. Over 2 times A, so 2 times 1.
It's longer.
Yes.
I mean, Miss Blackman.
Yes.
Is there a plus or minus button on our graphing calculators?
No.
No.
All right, here we go. You ready? All right, type it all in. 36, subtract 4, parentheses 1, parentheses 9, and I got 0. Don't you dare freak out either. What's the square root of 0, people? What times what is 0?
0.
It's just 0, okay? Don't freak out. If you need to, plug it in. Second square root 0, enter. And it gives you the answer, okay? Don't freak out. All right, so I've got 6 plus or minus 0 over 2. So that means my answer is just 3.
So it's a 1 solution.
It's a 1 solution. Beautiful. That means it only hits at 3. That's it. Are y'all okay?
Wait.
So is that a
Because 6 plus 0 is still 6. 6 minus 0 is still 6. They'll both still give you the answer of 3.
So would that be like the vertex?
That would be the vertex, yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, you think you can do 3? All right, let's do this. Let's do 3, 4, and 5. Let's work together in our pairs. Work with your peeps. And I'll put the answers up here, and you can check your answers with it, okay? Does that sound like a good plan? Alrighty, I got a couple of uh-huhs. And then we will go over any questions from Friday. Alright, there's the answers for 3, 4, and 5. Y'all check them. Work with your peeps, okay? You don't have to work by yourself. A lot of y'all are getting this answer, and that's just not finished yet. So if you get to this answer, just go ahead and go to 5, and I'll show you how we got to this in a minute, okay? We kind of have to review how to break down radicals. If you remember, see if you can try to get to it, okay? But then you have to take negative b. It's negative b plus or minus. You add this 6x over, and then you plug it in, it's negative b. All right, here we go. You ready? So this is where you should have been. A lot of you have this answer. So you've got to remember what perfect square goes into 92. What perfect square goes into 92? So take 92 and divide it by a perfect square. Pick one. Pick a perfect square. Any perfect square. That 2 is definitely not perfect square. Start with a bigger one. Start with somewhere around half of 92. What's half of 92? 40 something. What perfect square is around 40 something?
46.
What is a perfect square around 40 something? 49. Thank you. All right, that's a decimal, so that's no good. All right, what's the next one under 49? 36. That's a decimal. That's no good. What's the next one under 36? 25. Y'all ought to know 25 ain't going to go, right? All right, so 16. 16 doesn't work. What's the next one under 16? Really? 9. 9 is a decimal. 4's got to be it. Yep, it is. All right, so I have negative 6 plus or minus the square root. So instead of writing 92, I can write 4 times, what I guess my answer? 23. If you don't believe me, 4 times 23, and that equals 92. Remember, you can do anything to a problem you want to as long as it doesn't change the meaning. I still have 92. I just did it as 4 times 23. And what's the square root of 4? 2. The square root of 4. Michaela asked where I got the 2 from. The square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 4 is 2. All right, now look at all the numbers that are like. Do y'all remember this from Algebra 1 and from geometry?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you better because you did it. So look at all these ones that are like. What do I mean by like? I mean all the ones that don't have a square root, right? What are they all divisible by? 2. So what is negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3. Plus or minus, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. Square root of 23. And on the bottom, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. And then that means my final, No wonder. That's where you got. Okay, that's where you. That 2.
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, got it. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the 2 I just wrote. I'm like, the square root of 4 is 2.
I was like, wondering why.
Okay, next time then say the 2 on the bottom of the fraction then. Then we won't be confused. Okay. So let's not look at that. Are y'all okay?
Yeah.
Am I lost? No? Are y'all okay on breaking this down?
Aren't all those supposed to be 4s?
Where?
All the 2s on the bottom?
Is it 4?
Yeah, it's 2 times 2.
It is 2 times 2s. So it was a 2 on the bottom. Okay. That is 4. That is 2. I know, we're going to redo it. That is 2. Alright, let's do it again. Here we go. We start back over. Let's start back over. Alright. Let's just delete, redo. Here we go. Alright, I got to break up 92. So we already found the perfect square that goes into 92. What's the perfect square that goes in 92? No. 4. 4 times what still gives me 92? 23. And now all of that is over 4, not 2. I gotta be more specific. I was going, what 2 are y'all talking about? I was like, square root of 4 is 2. Alright, so now what's the square root of 4? 2. I thought that was the 2 y'all were talking about. You gotta be more specific. Now what number goes into all 3 of the like terms? 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Here we go. Yay. Do we need to go over 5?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So I have negative b would be positive b over plus or minus square root. 6 squared is 36 minus 4 times 1 times 10 over 2 times a would be 2 times 1. Alright, so then I'm going to type in 36 minus 4 times 1 times 10 is negative 4, right? Should I get negative 4 in the square root? Huh? Nobody did? I know half of you did because I saw your papers. Alright, so I can take the square root of negative 4. What is the square root of 4? 2. And what does that negative come out as? I. And what are all 3 of them divisible by? 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1i. 2 divided by 2 is 1 on the bottom. And that reduces to 3 plus and minus I. Are y'all okay? Am I lost? Alright, grab your stuff from Friday. Let's go over that stuff. Alright. 3 plus and minus I. You about 5? Okay. Alright. What about Friday's stuff? Which one? No, we don't have time to go over all of them, okay? So where do we need to go from?
11.
Just 8? Okay. So we need to divide everything by 2 first, right? So that'll be x squared minus 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2 equals 0. And then I need my x's by themselves. So that should equal positive 3 over 2, correct? You should have at least been able to get there. Alright, then this is the crazy funky fraction, because you got to have your second term divided by 2 and square it, right? All the 2's. So that is negative 3 over 2 times 1 over 2 squared. Could you do keep, change, flip? Because remember, this is really 2 over 1. If I flip 2 over 1, it's 1 over 2. Then I multiply those together. I get negative 3 over 4 squared. And negative 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And that gets added to both sides. Y'all okay? Then how do I add fractions? Common denominator, which in this case is 16. So to get 2 to be 16, I need to multiply everything by 8. So that'll be 24 over 16. Y'all okay? Did y'all just get freaked out by all this? Yes? No? Alright, what's 24 plus 9?
33.
33. Oh, that's probably where you got freaked out right there. Okay, I see you. I got you. Alright, then we can factor this. But we get to cheat. You get to look right here where it's squared, right? So what am I going to write? X minus 3 over 4. There you go.
Whoa.
What? You get to look right here and cheat where it's squared. This goes right here. Alright, then how do I get rid of the square? You square root it. These go away. So I have x minus 3 over 4 is equal to, now stop right here. I cannot take the square root of 33. However, I can take the square root of 16. What is the square root of 16? 4. Well, technically it is plus and minus. And you leave the 33 with a radical. Do not put the square root over that 4. It's just the square root of 33. No, because I got one more step. You ready? I got to get x by itself. So what do I got to do? I got to move this over. There you go. So x equals 3 over 4 plus and minus the square root of 33 over 4. And I could put that all as one fraction, bless you. Is that okay? What other one?
Can we do number 2?
Number 10?
Did you use the answers?
I'm going to post all the answers on the Google Classroom around lunchtime today. I should have just done that to start with.
When you get down the square root of x plus 3, square is the square root of negative 16. Negative 16, you do that high. Yeah, you use iron.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Let's see, x minus 3 squared is equal to, what's that say, negative 25 plus 9, so it'll be negative 16, so x minus 3 equals the square root of negative 16, so x minus 3 equals plus and minus 4i, and 3 plus and minus 4i. Y'all okay? Was that the only thing? Okay. If you're so confused, what should you do? Come to a period tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow, no, because I got ACT prep stuff tomorrow, but Wednesday. Or tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow during lunch, or tomorrow during another class period. Just come see me, okay? Or email. What about 10? We need to do 10, you said? Alright, so we got to divide everything by that 3. Don't touch that 2, because he's where he needs to be, right? Alright, then I'm going to take this one. It's just these fractions that are freaking you out. Second term divided by 2 squared. A whole bunch of 2's. This 2 is really over 1. So when I flip it, it'll be negative 4 over 3. And flip 2 over 1, you get 1/2. So that's negative 4 over 6. Reduce it, though. Make your life easy. Oh, hold on. What's negative 4 over 6 reduced to be? Negative, hold on a minute, it's still focusing. Negative 2 over 3. And what's negative 2 over 3 squared? 4 over 9.
This morning,
Yes.
this black.
Yes, dear.
I don't remember us having this like focusing problem freshman year.
That's because we had a different hover cam then.
Did we?
Yes. It is only, literally only during second. It's like it doesn't wake up in time or something. It's only second period. It just does, it's like it's not awake yet. It's like it hadn't been on long enough. All right, so we have to have the same denominator. What's the same between 3 and 9? 9. To make 3 become 9, you multiply everything by 3. All right, so what's 6 plus 4? 10 over 9. Don't reduce it. Don't make it a mixed number. You want that 9 as a perfect square, okay? All right, and then Matthew, right here, where we simplified it right before we squared it, that's where we get to cheat, okay? So negative 2 over 3. And then get rid of that square. How do you do that? Square root it. There you go. And you have x minus 2 over 3. And which one can you square root? The 10 or the 9? The 9. There you go. So what's the square root of 9? Plus and minus 3. There you go. And then only put the square root over the 10. Don't you put it back over the 3. Put it over the 10. Move that 2 over 3. So it'll be a positive 2 over 3 plus and minus square root of 10 over 3. And just make it one big old fraction. Y'all okay? We got time. You just want me to work out 11 real quick?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, we multiply. Oh, I can't see. What are we multiplying by? 4? Negative 24. Negative 24 plus 9 would be negative 15 over 4.
This black.
Yes.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
Is this where y'all got stuck right here? Yes? Okay. You need to slow down for a minute? So you at least got to this point? Okay. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so I can take the square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? 2. 2 plus and minus 2, yep. All right, so I have, let me do this in 2 steps, okay?
If you don't do the plus and minus on the quiz, are you going to come out?
Yep, because you're going to get 2 answers. So now you can fix the 15. The negative comes out as I, and then 15 stays inside. Are y'all okay with that? Hold on, it's focusing. There we go. All right, so let's see. That'll be negative 3 over 2 plus and minus I square root of 15 over 2. Are y'all okay? And then just make it one big fraction. Negative comes out as I. You just want me to work out 7 too, since we got a few extra minutes? Just to make sure you can check your answer? Then we won't have to worry about this, the Google Classroom. Man, all these 6s and 4s. Y'all okay so far? You just checking it? Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy, I ran out of room. Let's see. That'd be 4 over 2, which is 2. Be negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. Y'all okay? So in reality, we just had problems with like number 8 with the crazy fraction. Is that what we were saying? So how do you study for this quiz on Wednesday? How do you study? You rework the problem. Look, you take a clean piece of paper and you write this problem down again and you work it out and you see if you get 2 and negative 3. Then you take a clean piece of paper and you write down this problem and you still see if you get the answer 3 plus or minus square root of 33 over 4. Are y'all okay? I will be here every day. You just got to come see me. So you got a quiz on Wednesday on this stuff and you got a bell ringer factoring test on Thursday, okay? By loss, this Thursday, like, as in, like, Thursday in, like, 3 days. Yep.
We have that meeting, but the paper, all of them,